create the world of the dream. We bring the subject into that dream, and they fill it with their secrets.
This fucking guy.
So inconsiderate.
Man, I'd like to start the episode, but like, alright, if he needs his nappy nap, by all means.
No, don't get out! Don't go into the volcano! Hi, I'm Tanner Richard Kraft, and welcome to another episode of Bomb Squad Matinee. Today I'm joined by...
Hi, I'm here to plant ideas in your mind. My name is Tower 7, and I'm full of important documents about financial crimes.
Hi, I'm Cody Sweezo. I'm not real.
I have no joke, but I am Joseph Verenick. Hi. That's maybe the funniest thing.
And today we have a special guest joining us for the first time.
Hi, my name's Orion. I am a recent college graduate where I studied film production, and I am really putting that degree to use by working at a gas station, and I have some opinions on some movies.
Put some fucking respect on Quick Trip's name, excuse you.
Working
at
won't.
a gas station.
No. Hey,
you work
you
at
guys,
Quick Trip.
Guys, I need you to know they run Quick Trip like the Navy. I'm not getting into
Good.
it right now.
Oh, I know.
should.
I worked at a gas station. It was ass.
They need to.
Terrible.
Quick Trip's important.
Sure.
The entire infrastructure of the Midwest would fall apart without it.
I guess that's true. A lot of people go to Quick Trip, and they somehow
Speaking
all
of
suck.
infrastructure.
All right. Today, if you couldn't tell by my shoe dreaming, we're talking about Inception.
Well, that's why he
That's
did
right.
that.
Christopher Nolan's dream movie. Before we get into our thoughts on the movie overall, we of course have our warm-up question, which today is, what's your favorite movie about the dreams? About dreams. Or alternatively, I think I wrote this down, I don't remember if I did, but if you couldn't think of a good answer, I think I was going to ask you what's a crazy dream you had. But if you all thought of good answers, we'll do that. I'm going to buck tradition here and do one of the, maybe the first time we've ever done this in the history of the show. We're starting with the guest. Orion, what's your favorite movie about dreams? And I'm putting him on the spot because he kept trying to tell me his answer, and I said, stop it.
Wait, okay, because I was like, is this a good answer? But whatever. I did actually come
I will
up
make
with
fun
one.
of you regardless.
No.
You will.
This is true. He is an asshole.
He is. Yeah. I do know him. But the one that I could come up with that I didn't tell Tanner already. It's related to dreams. Spirited Away, because you're sort of transported into this other reality, and it's sort of unclear whether or not it's a dream or if it is reality. And I think those themes are pretty similar to what we see in Inception of just like what is reality. Yeah, and I was just Studio Ghibli. Love it. Classic. I don't have much deeper explanation than that. It's dream, kind of. Yeah.
The first answer he told me was The Blind Side. Just so
It was the second movie. It was the second movie. And I was thinking of it as like...
The Blind Side was the most baffling one.
Because I was like following your dreams, and it was also a bit.
Excellent.
I immediately called him racist, as I should.
Yeah.
The Blind Side. Austin, what say you?
Wizard of Oz for 500, Alex. Boom. No, as great as that movie is, how about instead a movie that has a bunch of references to the Wizard of Oz? My pick for my favorite dream movie is Mulholland Drive. Take that, Tanner. Fuck it. This movie takes the premise of people subconsciously projecting their hidden desires into dreams and just fucking runs with it. 2/3 of this movie is a dream that plays out like a noir-type mystery with lots of symbolism and lesbian stuff, but it's not super clear that's what's happening at first. You're basically warned that it's going into dream mode by like one vague shot right after the opening nightmare sequence. Then, much later in the film, you find out that, like, the protagonist actually lives in this much shittier version of Los Angeles and was dreaming up, like, a preferable, interesting version of her life out of guilt. Lynch won Best Director at Cannes for this. It's a masterpiece. That opening scene at Winky's Diner and then the nightmare at the beginning is scarier than anything you will find in most horror movies. Mulholland Drive for 500. Back to you, Tanner.
Good answer. Good answer. Cody, what film? Actually, hold on, Cody. What's your favorite movie about dreams? Stipulation: you can't say Mac and Me somehow.
I went through it thoroughly. I had the bit planned, but no, don't worry. Don't worry. I had a different bit planned because you know what? You mentioned dreams. You didn't say shit about nightmares.
There
Good
we
answer.
go.
Good answer.
Nightmare on Elm Street. Robert Englund plays one of the most interesting horror movie characters with one of the most interesting concepts of a killer that can kill you in your goddamn dreams. It's perfectly executed. One of the best horror movies ever made. That's my answer.
So that's why your right hand was occupied.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
I'm like, he.
Oh
is
no,
not
no! This
moving
was the
that hand
second
at all.
reason. The first reason was, you know.
Oh.
Yeah. Vrennick. You don't get to
Alright.
go. Anyway,
you.
my turn. No, I'm kidding, Joe. Go ahead. No, I wasn't kidding. Anyway, no, I'm really kidding, Joe. You can go.
Okay,
And
my
anyway,
pick-
fuck Joe. No, I'm kidding. You can go.
Will you just fucking shut the fuck up?
A joke
Anyway.
within a joke within a joke?
I'm not saying
You get it, Cody.
Anyway, Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, final answer. I beat Tanner to his boomer ass answer. I'm just kidding. No, Austin, and I, we had a conversation before we started the recording, and it turns out we both had the same answer. But thankfully, I had a backup plan, all set in mind. It was kind of a tough toss-up. I could have went with a movie that I hadn't talked about yet. Well, I wasn't on the episode for it. It was Last Night in Soho, which that does have things with dreams in it, but
You weren't on that episode?
what's up? Yeah, no, I wasn't on that. I wasn't on that episode for very specific reasons, Tanner. Remember,
Never mind. Sorry.
things happened around that
mind.
point.
I forgot. That's when you lost the lottery. You
Yes,
bet the house on the ponies.
Yeah, I bet the house on the ponies and played too many scratchy lotteries.
Get it.
I guess my other honorable mention, whilst I'm at it, Field of Dreams, mostly because I think that's just a very funny answer, because that movie's not about dreams.
It does have dreams
It's
in
in
the
the name.
title,
We
though.
count it. We count it.
No, but my actual pick is, it's one that came out recently. And by recently, I want to say 2023. It's a little movie called Dream Scenario, starring the one and only Nicolas Cage. A movie that had some strange as fuck advertising, because it advertised it as a straight up weird comedy, and that movie's a straight up comedy for at least the first half of it, and then it just gets really fucking sad. Like, really, really fucking sad. It's a movie that kind of hit me at my core when I initially saw it. That movie kind of just left me devastated by the end. But the other thing that movie really gets right is marketing people are the fucking worst. I've had to sit in a room with marketing people somewhat recently, and I wanted to bash my fucking face into my desk. They are the worst people ever. They have the dumbest fucking ideas, and they have no idea what they're fucking talking about, because they're fucking idiots. If you're a marketing person, fuck you, go to hell, you're an idiot. Dream Scenario, though. Solid Nicolas Cage movie that has some fun dream antics in it, and a very funny scene where Nicolas Cage farts. Back to you, Tanner.
Good answer. Good answer. Fun fact about Dream Scenario. I saw that movie as a first date.
Oh, God, why?
Oh, fuck. That's a bad idea. Jesus.
That's a great
No.
idea.
No.
Did you pause it every couple seconds and be like, now this is what's happening here?
Yes,
Did you
Orion. I
pull one of
paused the
those?
movie in the movie theater.
Oh,
Very good.
all right. I thought you took her to your penthouse
No.
and freaked it. Okay. That's not. No worries.
Tanner, what's your movie?
So I have the
your dream
Wikipedia
movie?
page for dream movies pulled up here. Number 1, The Trump Prophecy, a 2018 movie about how Trump became president because a firefighter had a dream about it. Number 1.
Oh. Thank God that
Started
never
with that,
happened.
number 1. Number 2. What's another stupid one in here? Number 2, we're going with another movie that has the word Trump in the title. Clubs Are Trump. 1917 short film featuring Harold Lloyd.
Oh.
We got
What?
this.
Awesome.
Got The City Without Jews. That's a movie in here. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. That's a movie in here.
Sure.
Is that really about dreams, though?
They are in it.
The Fourth Man is in here. I can only assume that's a sequel to The Third Man.
Anyway,
There's
your
literally no
answer
other
is Hoop
conclusion.
Dreams. Final answer.
I do like that Hoop Dream, sir. I do enjoy that Hoop Dreams.
Dream Girls. Final answer.
I do like that Dream Girl, sir. There's a lot of there's a movie called Orion in the Dark. That's Orion's new answer.
Nice.
That's my name. That's my name.
Shout out to Tim, who threatened to join the call, say paprika, and leave.
All right, bro.
Awesome.
But when I look at all these answers, the one that calls most of me is obviously you got to go with the Trump prophecy. Truly, our history's greatest president, history's greatest leader, and God bless America that he got. No, I'm a fucking
have to
Richard
leave.
Linklater fan. My answer is Waking Life. What the fuck else was it gonna be?
That makes
Yeah,
sense.
obviously.
Alex Jones is in that.
Alex Jones is in
Famously.
both of Richard Linklater's animated movies, but like both times it was before he became a national name, and he was just like everyone's favorite local crank in Austin, Texas.
Mhm.
If I remember correctly, in Waking Life, he's just like screaming around, going, "They're putting light bulbs in the French fries." He's just saying something absolutely nonsensical. But in 2006, Scanner Darkly, when he shows up, I think he's just doing a real rant. It makes me think that Linklater just filmed him on the street and then put him in the movie. I don't know.
I think in Waking Life, when he's on, he just gets redder until he's completely red. Like, they draw him as a completely red person at a certain point. It's not half bad.
Good bit. Good
Yeah.
bit. I do like him in both movies, especially because, again, in Waking Life, he's driving around one of those cars that has like speakers on it where he goes, "Hey, chemicals in the water, turn in the light bulbs." You know, that kind of stuff. But honestly, if I were to actually pick a favorite movie about dreams, my answer would probably be Inception. So let's get right into. Austin looked so annoyed when I said that. Austin's like, "You motherfucker."
You've done this twice now.
I should have thought
Yeah,
I
that.
know
done this
it wasn't
twice.
on purpose. It wasn't on purpose. It just keeps happening to me. It's not my fault. I didn't make the question.
Yes, you did!
Wait!
It's almost
I
like you're the
didn't.
host. Oh my god.
No, I didn't. I didn't make the question.
Okay.
Get the fuck out of here.
Renat Kraft is hosting this episode. Renat. Spell that backwards.
We're dreaming.
You're actually in the middle of the workshop right now, sleeping. This is your first lesson in shared dreaming. Stay calm.
Let's get right into our thoughts on Inception. Cody, you're talking about a movie that came out after 1970, a rarity for you.
Ew.
What do you think
Why am I-
of Inception?
What do I think of it? Well, funny enough, Inception was initially in my top 10 favorites list back before I started like watching movies like more often. I like this movie a good bit, and after rewatching it, I still like it a lot. Actually, there's one thing I take away from this movie. This movie is a masterclass in taking a very complicated like topic and making it relatively simple to follow along with. Because the entire time I wasn't confused or like at all during the entire film. It was relatively like, yeah, it's about dreams and you can go within dreams, but it's laid out pretty well, and all of like the little architects laid out by different characters is like explained pretty well in their own scene. So by the time you have like the big little meetup, which takes up like pretty much the entire film, you're pretty much good to go. You're basically a part of the team. It's like, all right, we're doing this shit. Don't worry about Mr. Dude with his trauma. Yeah, you'll be fine. It won't fuck everyone up. It fucks everyone up. But I'm glad that sort of like side plot doesn't like take over the narrative too much and muddles an already good concept. That's basically the issue I had with Mickey 17, but that's not here. It's, you know, it's all well balanced. You know, I think the watching this for the first time, this was like one of the first movies where I really saw VFX like go everywhere. They're like, the first scene where like, the fucking buildings are like twisting, the roads on top. It's like, holy shit, films can do anything. This is crazy. It was one of the first films to really open myself up to like just crazy concepts where you can just like do a little bit of anything. And I think everyone, the spectacle is kind of my main takeaway here. As for the actual plot, it's pretty good, pretty solid. I don't really have like, unfortunately, this isn't really a movie I have like a lot to say about. I think it's like a relatively like effective action movie with like a very interesting concept that's executed really well, and I'm sure you lovely lots will explain it better than I will. Yeah, I don't really have a lot to say on this movie besides the fact that I still think the effects hold up well now, and I think, despite the concept, I think anyone can get into it and will enjoy it. So, yeah.
Good answer.
So absolutely make me talk about a film that's not from like 1930s.
Yeah. The movie comes out after year 2000, and Cody's just like, yeah, I think it's a movie.
Maybe. I don't know.
An obscure 5-minute short film from 1922.
Yeah!
I know about his illegitimate man-child son. That's what Cody will say. I am Harold Lloyd Jr. Joe, what do you think of Inception?
All right. Just real quick, I want to change my answer to the first question because I had a list pulled up. My actual new answer is the original Alice in Wonderland from
That's
the 50s.
right, the Trump prophecy. Good answer.
Go fuck yourself, you piece of shit. Alice in Wonderland, final answer for question number 1. Question number 2, what do I think of Inception? Man, I can't hate this movie, and I still fucking love this movie. This is one of those movies, I think I bring it up on The Dark Knight. It was on the Dark Knight episode, go watch that later. This is one of those movies where it's just like, it hit me at like the right age. It came out at like the perfect age for me, where it's like, The Dark Knight is a great movie for a like 12, 13-year-old. And it came out when I was 12 years old, about to turn 13. Christopher Nolan did it twice in a row, because Inception is a great movie for anyone that turns 15 and they're going into high school. And this movie came out like when I was 14, 15, about to go into high school. Nolan is just really fucking good at that shit. It's honestly just a great movie all around. Like, it's weird to say this about like a movie like Inception, but like for as complicated as it is, it's a relatively simple like idea. It's like you go into people's dreams to steal ideas. Like the basic gist of it. It's how they all do it is where it gets complicated, but it's easy to follow, and it's honestly it's weird to say. Its brilliance really is in its simplicity. It's kind of insane that this movie is accessible as it is. And I think what helps is, man, oh man, the special effects in this movie are fucking insane. I mean, you can say that about pretty much any Nolan movie. This one in particular is, like, some of his best, if not his best. The instant standout, of course, is the hallway fight. The hallway fight is maybe the best Nolan scene ever. You could debate it, but it's up there. It is 100% up there. It is maybe the coolest thing he's ever done in a movie. Definitely one of the most memorable things he's done in a movie that he's made, and just in movies, period. Cast is fucking solid. I think this had to have been my first Leonardo DiCaprio movie, which is kind of insane because that man's been in so many movies, and I hadn't seen any movies with him in the 14, 15 years of life that I had lived up to that point. But I had always been aware of his existence, and I was like, yeah, I get why this man's a movie star. I mean, I think this was pretty much where most people were introduced to Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy in this movie is fucking incredible, and he would just continue to get better as time goes on. God, I want to just gush over this movie, but I want to save that for a general discussion section. Hopefully we have one this time around. So, Tanner,
You will.
pass it right back off to you. Movie good. Back to you, Tanner.
Good answer. Good answer. All right, Austin, let her rip.
Inception was one of those movies that I was really excited to revisit. This movie came out when I was 16, and it was this movie and District 9 that inspired me to study the art of making visual effects for movies, videos. In my opinion, the shot of Ruse Franck folding in on itself is the most striking computer-generated image of my teenage years up to that point. I remember seeing it in the trailers and absolutely losing my fucking mind. But after a rewatch, I would say this is definitely on the lower end of Chris Nolan's catalog, which actually is really baffling if you think about it. Inception is possibly the third best Hollywood film of 2010, behind like The Social Network and True Grit. The film was nominated for 8 Oscars, including Best Picture, and at the end of the night it took home, Best Cinematography, Sound Editing, Sound Mixing, and Visual Effects. But Christopher Nolan's skills only kept improving after this. So even though Inception was this massive success compared to almost all other American films from 2010, it's noticeably more flawed than stuff like Interstellar or Dunkirk or Oppenheimer. But don't misconstrue the previous point. Inception is just the lowest peak in a mountain range. It's still a mountain, just not the highest, you know? Like, sometimes Inception's pacing is like a dream within a dream. Just when you think things are speeding up, you realize that you're in slow motion again. It really, kicks off at the end, but there's a great deal of, repeated information, and not all the set pieces are equally engaging. There are, though, a great many things that still hit hard as fuck 15 years later. To this day, Inception has the best scene filmed inside a rotating set. Even, you got the charm of shit like Royal Wedding, 2001: A Space Odyssey. None of that can top 2 dudes just beating the shit out of each other across every wall in 2 separate rooms. And let's also take a second to praise the hotel bar. This never gets brought up. It was constructed on an 80 by 60 foot seesaw. Nolan bolted everything to the fucking floor, and he had to hire really muscular extras just so he could shoot every glass of water leaning diagonally in camera. And that's just the tip of the very extensive practical effects iceberg for this movie. They dropped dynamite on a mountain, and they filmed 18 practical avalanches for this show. They really flooded the castle set with 5,600 gallons of highly pressurized water. They built... Yeah! They built the fucking city train, too! And they crashed it directly into 11 cars in one shot! It's funny hearing people say, oh, I want Christopher Nolan to do a Bond movie, because he already did! Nolan actually would joke around a lot with Chris Corbould, his special effects supervisor on this movie, that this was his Bond film. And that's why he hired Chris Corbould, the guy who worked on 15 Bond films. But yeah, to get away from the effects for a second, I'm also very, fond of the observational insight Inception's screenplay has about dreams. There's a lot of relatable shit in here that I'd, never consciously thought about before I saw the movie. Like, the idea you can experience what feels like a very long time in a dream, but it's actually, time is, it's very short. The way dreams begin in the middle of situations, so you can't recall how the fuck you got there. The hypnic jerk that jolts you awake. In my experience, usually ladies are more interested in analyzing dreams, For every Carl Jung, you have 12 Anne Faradays. So it's cool that Christopher Nolan found a way to make dreams into a sick action movie for dudes. And yeah, to sort of wrap it up here, Inception is one of the most iconic movies of my lifetime. I can't run away from that. Its key sound effect changed the way movie trailers punctuated dramatic moments for a decade. The dream within a dream concept also had this colossal mimetic impact. Some of the set pieces are all-timers, even though other ones feel like Nolan spinning his wheels. The screenplay's a little heavy on exposition. The majority of the characters don't have arcs. It's fucking incredible, but not as incredible as the movies Nolan was going to make next. It's the least shiny diamond in a crown full of gems. 7.5 out of 10. Big ups to this movie. Back to you, Tanner.
Oh, interesting. Good stuff. Good stuff. Sorry, it's just specifically that you say it wouldn't be as good as the movies that comes next because the next movie in
Dark Knight Rises is best film.
Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, baby. CIA on the plane with Bane. I Bane post everywhere. That's the best.
You're a
scene
big
in
guy.
For you.
Sorry.
Fuck.
For you.
Oh, it's iconic.
They'll expect one of us on the plane, brother.
My aircraft.
Crashing this plane. With no survivors.
Orion, what do you think of Inception?
Oh, who, me? Oh, sure.
Who
So,
else is Orion? Sorry.
I didn't hear,
Orion.
see, I didn't hear you say my name because your hand was covering your mouth. But anyways,
Skill issue. Wouldn't let it happen to me, personally.
So anyways, I am going to show my age here a little bit because when Inception came out, I was 8 years old. But
For some reason, I thought you were about to say, wasn't born yet. I
No.
don't know why. I know that's not the case.
No, but I did watch this movie for the first time when I was around 15 or 16. My high school offered a film studies class, and this movie was my first introduction to, like, the quote-unquote movie magic, you know. I was also, like a couple of you said already, I was really wowed by the visual effects of, like, you know, the town folding in on itself and stuff like that. And I was able to, like, share that universal, like, shock at the ending with the spinning top. Like, that, like, blew my mind. I was like, what? Since then, and since going to film school and stuff like that, I wouldn't say I've gotten snobby, but I have sort of grown a sort of distaste for action movies in general. And that's just because Marvel, I know, I'm sorry.
You should be. You are a horrible person.
I wouldn't go that far.
They say this about me all the time. But I will say, after
Who's they?
Us.
Yes.
The Bomb Squad. Sorry, Orion. Continue.
No, you're good. Since rewatching it, since high school, and I rewatched it literally today, I really love this movie. I think it is an extremely solid, well-constructed movie. Honestly, like, when I saw it was 2.5 hours, my Gen Z small attention span brain was just like, ugh. But I was seriously, I was locked in the whole time. I think it is a really extremely well-constructed story. I think, I don't know, yeah, it's just like beautifully paced. I think, I don't know, there wasn't any, like Cody said, it's laid out relatively simply to, like, get other people to understand. I don't know, that sentence didn't make sense, but you know what I mean. Thanks, appreciate you. So yeah, also, after rewatching this, I didn't realize that Cillian Murphy was in this movie. That's crazy. Damn, I didn't know that.
It's like in all of Nolan's movies. What
He's
Nolan
so
movie
good.
is he not in?
I just
forbore. Yeah, that was my big takeaway. If I had to give it an out of 10 rating, I would probably also say 7.5. Not to copy you, but yeah.
Hell yeah.
You love the movie and then say 7.5?
7.5 is, like, good.
Yeah.
High number.
Good. I wouldn't call it loving score. To each their own.
Whatever.
Fascinating human being, Ryan. How do I
Thanks.
keep call? Hold on.
Bro's really saying, if you love it, it's a 9. Otherwise, fuck off.
I just never heard someone say I love a movie and then say 7.5.
It's primarily
one hair away from 8.
Well, you literally heard it before Orion talked. Austin said the same thing.
I didn't hear
I was
Austin
gonna
say
say
the word love, so my bad.
And that score is primarily just because action movies are not my go-to personally. So I'm already just like.
I thought you
okay.
were about to say aren't good, and I was about to lose my mind.
No, they are.
I wish
just
that
have.
shit.
I would have
have
been
a
like, hold on a
distaste.
minute. You can have your opinions, but Jesus.
I have a distaste just because I've turned a little. Film school made me snobby. So, yeah.
Film school made me less snobby.
Film school made me hate
Mostly
watching
because
movies. I hate
mostly
watching
because
movies. Anyways,
film
what?
school made me love watching movies more.
Interesting.
Honestly, that's your fault, and you should improve as a person.
Yeah, I'm kind of the worst, guys. I'm really sorry.
We do this all to all of our
Okay,
guests.
to
by the
the
way.
others that cleat back the truck, this is just how Orion and I talk to each other.
Oh,
No, I want the
constantly.
Bomb Squad to know. This is how we treat all of our guests, on and off.
No,
camera.
hold on.
Yay!
I respect the other guests. I would never treat them like this.
Yeah, where do I sign the NDA?
Oh, too late.
It's in the mail. It's in the mail.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you, brother.
All right. My thoughts on Inception. Hello. I had the chance to rewatch this movie yesterday. I own it on Blu-ray. I see the Blu-ray case in front of me, but I'm not going to get up and get it because I'm lazy.
You see, look at mine.
Ooh,
Wow.
nice.
You have a little like stand for it and everything.
I know. I'm prepared.
Actually, why don't I just do this?
No.
Show
Like,
up.
it's so
Yeah,
much easier.
with your cracked
Really
camera.
helpful.
Wow, it's even worse this way. Hold on. See that?
Yeah, I
Hold
see
on.
even less somehow.
His little splotch.
Hold on. I fucking. Hold
I'm
on.
holding mine up
Fucking-
now. I have it on
Really
4.
locked in.
I have
Yeah.
mine on 4K.
There we go.
There
Okay,
it
I
is.
see it now.
Oh, it's the top.
Oh my
He's falling
gosh.
over, so he's real. Whoa.
Oh, well.
I
think
dropped
it was-
my.
Didn't think
I
it was that
saw too
kind of,
much.
Didn't think it was that kind of show.
Inception's a great picture. I love Inception. I love the dreams. I love the hallway. Oh,
You turn into the French song they play in the movie.
oh,
Okay.
Oh!
oh. Wah. That's the Inception sound, but Italian. Wah.
Man, fuck you.
Oh, my wife killed
Sucks.
herself because she a thinker, she a dreaming.
Damn.
Train just starts like going down the street. Oh my god!
Oh, I'ma be my own man, unlike my father. Oh, I'm old man in limbo.
Oh, the last scene references the first scene. Mamma mia.
Oh, I'm a Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Your famous Italian actor. Yeah. That's great.
Hey.
You
Anyway.
mustn't be afraid to dream a little bigger, darling.
Tanner, let's get back on track.
Sorry, Tim. My chest hurts. My chest hurts.
My
I
head
laughed
hurts.
so hard.
You should see a doctor.
I'm dying. Inception's fucking amazing. Performances all around are really great. I do think this is one of Leonardo DiCaprio's better performances. In a career full of amazing performances, I think he injects a lot of depth into the character. The way he's constantly playing that guilt, I think, is really good. I think, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, he's always fun to have in a movie. I enjoy seeing him in a picture. He did like all of his own stunts except one, fun fact. Most of the hallway shit is actually him, which is really cool.
Most.
Yeah, most. I'm assuming there's one big one that's not him.
When they get to the room, it's much longer on one side, so I think they had to swap them out because it went from being a potential 8-foot fall to a potential 30-foot fall, and they were like, "Sorry, 500 Days of Summer, you're not doing this one."
Yeah, we're not letting you do that one. That's fair. Marion Cotillard, I think, injects a lot of depth, especially because now this doesn't affect the movie. It's still an all-time favorite movie for me. But if I were to critique it, it'd be a common critique I have of most Christopher Nolan movies, which is that he's not great at writing women.
Yeah.
Everyone knows this. Everyone knows this.
Yeah.
This is a common criticism of him. He's not great at writing women. But thankfully, he casts incredibly talented actresses that make up the gap in my mind. Whatever lack of depth is there in the performance, whatever lack of depth is there in the writing, I think is made up by Marion Cotillard putting 110% into it. She is fantastic. And if we want to talk about him writing women, while Marianne Cotillard isn't great, Elliot Page's character, whose name I'm not even going to try to pronounce because I don't know how to do it.
Ariadne.
Yeah, see, I always want to say Adrian. I can't. I can't.
It's fair.
I think Elliot Page is really, really good in the movie, and I think his character is well written, and that character is a woman. I think he's bad at writing love interests. He's bad at writing the wife, which is interesting because I remember on the press tour for Tenet, when he was asked about something, he said the greatest fear he has in the world is losing his wife and child.
Yeah.
Which explains a lot about Tenet.
Does it?
Performance of their own. Yeah, it does.
Okay.
Christopher Nolan is Kenneth Branagh in that movie. That's what you need to understand.
That's my finger. Okay.
Don't look into that. Anyway, I'm drawing blanks. Really, what really stood out to me is just how much of a masterclass this is in exposition throughout the entire first hour of the movie, up until they finally do the Inception. They're explaining shit, but you kind of don't notice. It's just kind of fucking awesome like that. Because first off, it's the shit that's being explained is interesting and cool, and two, they do it in a way that's just so perfectly. It's not subtle. It's just so well integrated that you don't notice. You know what I mean? All this stuff is fantastic. I love the movie. Performances are great. The writing is great. The directing is great. This was so my top 4 Chris Nolan movies. Number 1 is Oppenheimer. 2 is Dunkirk. Number 3 is The Dark Knight, and then number 4 is this movie, Inception. Apparently, it's blasphemy to put those movies above Interstellar. Anyway, performances all around are great. I love Cobb's arc in the movie about how he finally learns to let go, and I'm gonna have something I want to say about Cobb's arc when we get to general discussion. As a matter of fact, let's just get to general discussion. This movie's fucking amazing, and I'm having trouble constructing an overall thesis on it. Other than it's like the coolest movie ever, and yet only Christopher Nolan's 4th best movie. Think about.
Right?
We'll be right back after a brief commercial break.
You mustn't be afraid to dream a little bigger, darling.
Hi, welcome back from that ad break for another ad. See that shit behind me? That's a movie palette. That one's for the movie Punch Drunk Love. Basically what it does is it takes the primary color, every frame of the movie, slices up into these little bits, puts them on a little bit of canvas for some nice wall art. You can get one for the movie Inception, you can get one for the movie Interstellar, you can get one for the movie Dunkirk, any Chris Nolan movie, even hey, they have a movie on there that you love and it's not available yet. You can, for a little extra money, you can have one custom made. Go ahead, go to moviepalette.com, add your palette to your cart, but before you finish checking out, make sure you enter the code SQUAD15 to save 50% on your order. Thank you so much for watching, and now back to the show. Okay, so when it comes to Inception, I think part of what made it such a moment in the zeitgeist is one, Christopher Nolan can sell a movie on his name like movie stars can, number 1. But number 2, I think it has to do with and I'm revealing my opinions on this by how I phrase this. It has a lot to do with the quote unquote cliffhanger ending it has. I have 2 very quick things to say about that. Number 1, you visibly see it slow down, and if you listen carefully in the mix, you can kind of hear it topple. Number 1, it was definitely falling down, but number 2, it doesn't matter. The whole point of that is that it's the conclusion of Cobb's arc. Cobb no longer is scared of being in a dream. He's no longer scared of his dreams. He's no longer obsessed with dreams, his dreams. He's now 100% in reality. He may have woken up from limbo with Matt all those years ago, but after his wife died, it's like he never really left being in emotional limbo. Now he's in complete, he's in control. He's not in dream limbo. He's not in emotional limbo. So those are my 2 cents on the ending. Number 1, again, I absolutely think you can see the top visibly slow down and start to fall. And number 2, it doesn't matter. Which is also essentially what Chris Nolan said in an interview with IndieWire in 2010. At the time, the answer has been in front of our eyes the whole time. Chris Nolan also says he believes it's in real life, but again, on the same vein, he thinks it doesn't matter. What say y'all?
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Hey,
mean,
not
when
to
I
be boring, but yeah.
when I rewatched it, I was like, I remember because that's like one of the most like well-known parts of the movie, and it's just like I remember it's like in the back of my head, it's like, oh yeah, you're gonna get the good ending, but then you're gonna see that top, and you're gonna start second guessing. But once you see like the entire finale kind of constructed, it's like, well, yeah, he's in the real world. Like, why would he not be in the real world?
It's possible that Saito did some crazy limbo shit in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, but like it's easier to accept he's in the real world, good ending, than here's the thing. Saito,
him still dreaming requires a lot of like
and with such a straight
layers of explanation that is way too complicated.
And with how straightforward the film is, why would it end on this? Oh, but what really happened? No, it's a relatively simple film. It's going to end with you win.
A film that does that where like you might not be able to figure it out is Total Recall. Like at the end of Total Recall, you could like say, "Oh, he was actually in the chair from the beginning of the movie the whole time." This isn't one of them. There were also those articles, like Crack.com era ones that said like his wedding ring was his totem because apparently he's wearing it in some scenes and not wearing it in others. Anyone remember those fucking things?
That is true, but if you notice watching the movie, you never see his wedding ring when he's not in a dream.
Ah, interesting. See, I think he used his kids as a totem. He just didn't look at his kid's face until he was sure he was back in real life. His kids' faces are his totem.
Now hold on now.
That
was interesting.
Maybe.
It's so cathartic when the kids finally turn around.
Yeah.
I also think it's really funny that, to me, they clearly filmed one shot of those children.
You know,
right? Isn't that so clear they filmed one shot?
Every time you see
They had those kids for like a couple hours. They shot
couple hours. They had those kids for 20 minutes.
They could only get one good shot. It comes off as like this stock photo asset Christopher Nolan got in like college, and it's just like, yeah, we're gonna keep using it.
He bought the rights back then, and he's been sitting on it.
And every time it just randomly shows up, and like fucking DiCaprio's just like, oh fuck, it's a big scene.
It's always the same shot, which makes it really funny.
Mm-hmm.
Austin, did you have a piece on the ending other than the wedding ring?
Was this everybody's first ambiguous ending? This is probably like the one I remember the most from when I was growing up. This was the first time a movie ended and the whole crowd was like, fuck you! God, don't do that! You know?
I'm sure I have watched a movie with an ambiguous ending before. I just can't.
Same.
I think this was my first.
It might have been my first, though.
Does District 9 count?
Oh, District 9's a good one.
Okay, so I've definitely seen a movie that had a more ambiguous ending before Inception.
There's a lot of them.
I googled ambiguous endings. Hold on.
Yeah, I didn't see
ambiguous
Blade
film
Runner.
endings.
Neither did I. I guess while Tanner does his Google shit, question for you: Who all has heard the theory that this movie is really about filmmaking?
Yeah.
I feel like people have a theory with all of those about.
Well, no, it's not just a theory. It's based on something Nolan said.
Well, it's even like it's like a common thing in like heist movies in particular, but I think this one has more clout. Not more clout, but more basis behind that theory, because like when you really think about like all of the jobs / positions that everyone has, like you have one that's the architect, you have one that does like all the performances and what have you, and you have a director who very clearly looks so much like Christopher Nolan, and like the whole point of finishing the heist is so that he can go home to see his kids. I don't know. I think that has more merit to that theory than other heist movies do.
I mean, there's like, you know, with all of like the dream layers, you can kind of symbolize that as like different layers of the production process, to the point where it gets to the most personal layer, like the director to family and shit like that. I can kind of see the theory.
Okay, now that I think about it, I think my introduction to ambiguous endings was through my parents. In the sense that I never knew if they got divorced or no, I'm kidding. It was through my parents, because even though I had never seen an episode of the show before then, I watched the finale of the Sopranos with them.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So there's my ambiguous ending experience.
Cool.
Hell
Did you
yeah.
have anything to say about all of that?
The filmmaker theory, how Inception's about filmmaking, right? That's where we are.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I wasn't listening.
I figured you weren't, and that's why I
My
don't
bad.
Care
I
for
figured
your
I
answer.
would
you're
catch
good.
on by the time I tuned back in. And then I tuned back in and realized I completely fucking missed everything.
Well, I do also want. Sorry, you go right ahead. I already had a point. You go right ahead.
No, you're good. I was just gonna say I hadn't heard that theory before, but after like thinking about it, I think that makes a lot of sense. I feel like, I mean, I feel like it doesn't just have to apply to filmmaking. I feel like this can be any sort of like means to an end kind of thing, but I do viewing it in the lens of it being a commentary on filmmaking and maybe potentially like Christopher Nolan's view on filmmaking and how he makes movies and how he sees that whole process is interesting, but making it like a cool, badass, iconic action movie. I had not heard that before, but I do. Now that you've explained it a little bit, I do agree with you. That's all I wanted to say.
Guys, I got it. Inception is about Christopher Nolan regretting making The Dark Knight. It all makes sense now.
The
Okay.
Oppenheimer
The
shit
movie
again.
that basically funded this movie? Yeah. What a
Yeah.
thread.
Right.
No, remember, guys, every movie Nolan has made since The Dark Knight is about him regretting making The Dark Knight.
It's
As a
him
matter of
apologizing
fact,
repeatedly.
The Dark Knight is about him regretting making The Dark Knight.
What?
Well,
Why do you think it
Many
has that
such
ending where
cases.
it's like he's not a hero anymore? That's because Nolan knew when he made The Dark Knight and released it to the world, he was going to irrevocably damage the cinema landscape by making comic book movies more of a guaranteed box office hit. But he knew he was making an awesome movie. That's why the movie ends that way. I just made this up on the spot, but it almost makes sense, doesn't it?
The Dark Knight theory.
Kinda. I'm
I
not
like
gonna
this one.
lie, you had me there for sure.
I can't wait to apply this to the Odyssey next year. I better
The
get my
Odyssey
tickets
is
now.
also about Christopher Nolan regretting making The Dark Knight.
Yeah, you better pre-order those tickets a year in advance, Tanner, so we can see them. Regret
Matter
the
of
Dark
fact,
Knight.
every movie Christopher Nolan made has been about him regretting making The Dark Knight.
I haven't
Even
Before.
following.
I
Yeah.
haven't made the Dark Knight yet, but there is a Batman logo in following, and I regret putting it there because I'm going to regret making the Dark Knight later.
Christopher Nolan actually has
Profit.
Tenet powers. So that's why that's that way.
Speaking of Tenet, I want to go back to a point that you brought up in your general thoughts of the Dark Knight, Tanner, specifically about exposition.
Wasn't on the Dark Knight episode. What are you
Not-
talking about?
Inception. I'm sorry.
Even our podcast on the Dark Knight is about Christopher Nolan regretting making the Dark Knight.
Tanner, shut the fuck up. Let me talk about exposition in Inception. I want to.
X-Men?
Yes, X-Men. But no, I want to go back to my point about exposition. Because you brought up a lot of good points. There's a lot of interesting stuff being explained in simple ways. But I think the most important thing with this movie in particular that Nolan would later forget with Tenet, all of the exposition in this movie, yeah, it's a lot of information being dumped on you, but it also keeps the fucking plot moving. You have the audience stand-in character with Ariadne who's learning all of this shit along with the audience. So it's we're learning with them, but also they are planning for the heist. They are getting shit moving. They are not just standing around being like, okay, yeah, well, you got to do this. When you do this, this is going to go backwards. And then when it goes backwards, it's going to hit a ball. And when that ball gets hit and starts moving, it's going to hit Hans Molman in the dick, and it's going to be very funny. Yeah, it's exposition done right because it just keeps the fucking plot moving. And
It never stops.
I think more movies ought to, if they're gonna have complicated plots like this, take note specifically on Inception and how to move the plot forward, or better yet, a movie that I watched after Inception, The fucking Matrix. Which, by the way, had not seen The Matrix before Inception. I would watch that movie a year later. my mind was still fucking blown by The Matrix. The Matrix is a fucking great movie. Even after Inception, it's like, if I had a time machine, I would go back and be like, hey, 15-year-old me, you just saw Inception. You thought it's the greatest movie ever, right? Well, I got good news for you. Go to your library. There's a DVD copy of The Matrix. You think that movie's great? Just you fucking wait, buddy. Anyway, Inception, great.
I have a thing to say about the exposition. One interesting trick that he used to fit it all in there, it's all questions. It's Captain Crunch, oops, all questions. Somebody actually went through and counted up how many questions in total are in this movie, including what's called tag questions. Okay, everybody, take a guess. How many total questions are asked in Inception? Go around.
85.
237.
237. Joe?
Not including the Jonathan Frakes, believe it or not questions, I would say 75.
Oh, Ryan.
We're just gonna go with an even 200.
All right, get this. 399 questions are
I was
asked
closest.
in Inception. Cobb leads with 113. Ariadne has 93. Arthur's in third place with fucking 44. 399 questions. That's how he did the exposition. People just
It didn't
keep asking
feel like that
questions to
much.
each other. Yeah. It's
Honestly,
a
that
lot
tracks.
of questions. Yeah.
That tracks, heavily.
Oh, no.
That makes a lot of
Yeah.
sense. Especially for a 2.5. Yeah.
But
That's
yeah,
what happened.
that might be a trick if you're trying to do a screenplay that's really complicated. Instead of having people just be like, oh yeah, the machine works like this, and this is what happens with the machine. Just have people keep asking questions back and forth, like, what if I kick the machine? The machine kicks back. Shit like that. Try that in a
You can
screenplay
also just do it. That's what they did mostly. They just did it.
That too.
They could have explained that entire briefcase with the fucking needles that go in your arm and you're just sleeping together. But they're just like, nah, shared dreaming. Let's do it right here, right now.
That's what.
Questions. Go ahead, Ryan.
Sorry, it was not important. I was just gonna say that's what Rosencrantz and Guildenstern did to each other, in the one movie, with they were on tennis courts or on opposite sides.
Yeah, so questions are a great I guess it's a great narrative trick in script writing for a film in order to explain exposition. It's also a great trick in just everyday talking. For some reason, this whole thing about the all the questions being asked. Are you guys familiar with the solid snake method of conversation?
I just heard of this.
The solid snake method to conversation is whenever someone says a sentence to you, say the last word or phrase in the sentence back to them as a question. Hey man, when are you going to the bank? The bank? Dude, you will not fucking believe this shit. This asshole just cut me off in traffic. Cut you off in traffic? All right, buddy, here's the thing. It's a nuclear submarine. Nuclear submarine? It makes it feel like they're being listened to, and you don't have to put any thought into it. The
Dan
solid
uses
snake
every single
method
day.
is a fantastic way to have a conversation.
I will be using that. Thank you. That's incredible. Because I don't hate listening to people talk. I'm just really bad at conversations, so that'll keep me engaged.
It's gonna be Orion on the next movie he's directing.
Uh-huh.
The actor's gonna ask him a question like, "What's my motivation?" And Orion's gonna respond,
Your
with,
motivation. All right, let's go for a take.
Get another take. Actor,
Yeah.
Or ready at the actor's like, "It's brilliant."
Yeah, I'm kind of the best director, anyways.
Yeah.
True.
Question.
Thanks.
What?
Question.
One thing I found I found the Inception of Inception. I have known about this movie for years, but I never knew how it could, we've all heard the screenplay took him 10 years, worked on it for a while, but I actually found an article that has the moment he thought this movie up. I'd never heard this story before. It's pretty quick. So the idea for Inception began one day when Christopher Nolan was an English major at University City College, London. He woke up to get free breakfast. And he went and got free breakfast, and then went straight back to bed. And while he was in bed, he dreamed he was on a beach picking up a handful of sand, and he could feel all the grains of sand. And then when he got up, he was really floored by the fact that, in dreams, his mind could, picture infinite detail, but he couldn't do that when he was awake. And according to Christopher Nolan, that's when this all started, after free breakfast in college. I'd never heard that before. I thought it was interesting.
That's very unique.
This is
for
why
sure.
Webster needs to start giving out free breakfast.
Oh, they never
True.
would. They've been in
Create the next
financial
Christopher
crisis.
Nolan now.
No, they would never.
Christopher
would
Webster.
never.
It's starting.
Okay.
Putting out
Sure.
this is official. To any and all bounty hunters, I'm putting out the hit on Beth Strobel.
Well, she's since stepped down. Thankfully.
I don't care. I'm
Okay.
putting out the hit on Beth
For legal
Strobel.
reasons, that's a joke.
I'm
That
not
is-
kidding. I'm dead serious. I'm not joking.
He's no longer part of the Bomb Squad.
Yeah.
You
oh,
can't
no.
do that. I can change the password.
Me and I can change the password.
Wait, but I can go in your dreams and find the new password.
Oh,
I'm on to you, fucker.
what would you incept in somebody?
Ooh.
That's a weirdly
Hold on.
disgusting
No,
sounding question.
this is a conversation. I
Don't worry,
wanna
Joe.
have.
It's not disgusting. I mean that in purely a sexual fashion.
Oh, that makes it even
Awesome.
worse.
what would be
Oh,
the most
do the
inconse-
Inception.
What could be the most inconsequential thing to like inflict on somebody?
Me personally, I'm putting the thought of suicide inside Donald Trump.
True.
How would
We
you
don't
even
talk
do
about this
that?
enough.
How would you even
Timmy,
do
no.
that? You put like a razor blade in a bathtub.
I
in
just
his
opened the
dream?
safe
Like
and I put a
what?
gun in it. Because here's the thing.
But that would
Either
be
Trump will
enough.
shoot himself with a gun, or he's going to start shooting people with guns, and maybe some cop will get confused.
Who's
I
to
sure do
say?
love Inception.
Gun and shoe polish. That's how you do it. That's what you put in the Trump safe.
Jesus Christ.
Jeez.
Because, like, the shoe polish will grease up the gun. I don't know why I went with shoe polish instead of, like, grease. Oil.
You know what?
Stick it on your feet.
I know.
Cody's Googling how to leave production
No.
company.
No, I know exactly. Listen, I would inflict the minds of one Stuart Raffle. I would go into his little brain. I'd say, "It's time. Mac and me returns. Come, my fellow
Did it.
director."
Let's move on to final thoughts, everybody. Let's start with Orion, the guest. What are your final thoughts on Inception?
I think this is, as I said earlier, just an extremely good movie, extremely well made, and I think one that everyone should see, especially if they're just getting into, you know, watching movies like regularly, whether it be as a hobby or as a. Sorry, my mind just blanked. Whether
Good
they're
answer.
watching. No.
Because I incepted you earlier to blank. I didn't
God!
incept on you, so you
Oh.
blanked during the recording.
Oh my god. But no,
That's why I
it's,
put "Don't fuck up Orion" in the fucking Google Notes. That was me
No.
incepting you, and it worked.
It worked very well. No, but I think this is a movie everyone should watch whoever's getting into movies, just watching movies regularly, whether it be as a hobby or something you're like studying and want to be a director and stuff like that. I think this is just a very good foundational movie among others, but I think this should for sure be in the lineup of things that everyone should watch.
I know this is not the point, but for some reason, the way you phrased that just now made me think, like, imagining a person that listens to this podcast regularly, but doesn't really watch movies. Like,
I'm
that
sure
person
there are.
probably exists, and his name is Def Machine Star. Love you, Def Machine Star.
Doing our
Cody,
boy
final
dirty.
thoughts.
My final thoughts is that this movie is great. Especially, like I said, like Orion said, if you're new to like film stuff, filmmaking, like definitely watch this film. It's a great gateway to like really complicated ideas being simplified. I really do need to watch more Christopher Nolan. This is like one of 2 Christopher Nolan movies I've seen, and the other
Me too.
being Memento. So yes, I've not seen anything else.
So what, you've never seen The Dark Knight?
Nope.
What the fuck is wrong with you, Cody? That movie's
Well,
incredible!
Lives
Well,
a
you know what? I'll go
fascinating
watch
existence.
it while you guys finish up. See you later.
Oh.
Oh.
You're gonna have a good time.
Oh, sweet.
I'm not doing this bit again.
I didn't think you could do that.
That was really funny. Made me laugh.
Brannick, final thoughts.
Movie fucking great. I would probably basically just parrot everything that everyone that's gone already has said. It's a great gateway movie for complicated ideas in movies. It's a great movie to watch when you're a teenager. It's a great movie to watch when you're an adult. It's just a great movie to watch. I would strongly recommend if they ever do a re-release of this anywhere, say at an Alamo Draft House, where we do frequent re-releases, or just any of the big houses in general. Fuck, if they release it again in IMAX, go and fucking see it in IMAX. That was how I initially saw it for the first time. Maybe the greatest fucking movie experience of my life was seeing Inception in IMAX. Movie fucking great. Check it out if you haven't.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Austin, final thoughts.
Inception is a special effects masterpiece with some pacing issues. It's living proof that the worst Christopher Nolan blockbusters are better than 99% of all other Hollywood blockbusters. That said, I will never forgive this movie for the irreparable harm it did, making a generation of young men, including myself, want to pursue VFX at this time in history. So, yeah, score down 3 out of 10. Sorry, Tanner.
Ooh.
Fair stuff. Fair enough.
Still loves
All
it. Still loves it.
Yeah.
My John, hello. I think this is an amazing movie. I think it is a truly brilliant movie that really explores, interpersonal dynamics and relationship stuff through a relatively unique setting. I think it is one of the best movies from the director, who is a very talented director. I am, of course, ladies and gentlemen, talking about the movie Ephus. This podcast is now about the movie Ephus. This is one of the best movies of the year. I fucking love this movie so much. You should watch Ephus. Fellas, what do you think about Ephus?
Baseball.
Stupid.
Fuck is an Ephus?
Stupid words.
The person
stupid
watching
words.
/ listening to this episode of Bomb Squad Matinee. Thank you oh so very much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. If you're listening on any of the audio platforms we're on, thank you so much for tuning in. How about you go down below and leave us a review? It helps boost us in the algorithm or something. I don't know. I just work here. And while you're listening, how about you mosey on down over to our Patreon, where the $5 tier gets you access to commentary tracks, and the $10 tier gets you a shout out. So my mom, Tanya Kraft, thank you so much for contributing to the finances. And there's also this Humpty Dumpty guy on Austin's hand. That guy also gets a shout out. He also gives us
What the fuck?
100%. And if you want to give us more money, how about you go on to bombsquadproductions.shop, where you can buy some t-shirts, you can buy a hoodie, you can buy some hats, you can buy some stickers, buy a magnet. Cody's wearing our main shirt right now. And fun fact, if Orion wants to come back on the show, he has to buy the shirt. I didn't tell him this until now.
That's for all of our
required
guests.
now.
I mean,
So you better wear that.
right.
You better buy that shirt.
It's comfy. And it goes good for the wash.
And speaking of Orion, you got anything you want to plug?
well, if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's just Orion Agnew. It's just my first last name.
Huge mistake if you do that.
I have nothing going on right now, but yeah.
Working on a pharmaceutical commercial.
Good
Thanks.
shit.
That's
Good
more.
shit.
That's true in ways you don't realize. And finally, if you are watching this on YouTube, thank you oh so very much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. How about you mosey on down over the comment section below and let me know what's your favorite Christopher Nolan movie? What do you think of Inception? Do you think Inception is a masterclass in exposition? Do you think Cobb is still dreaming at the end or not? He's not. And finally, what do you think of eFish 2025? Comment below and let me know. While you're down there, hit the like button so we know how much you like us. Hit the subscribe button so we know how much you love us. And hit the bell icon to know exactly when we upload new videos. As always, thank you oh so very much for tuning in. Tune in next week for what is going to be a very, very special episode. We talk about the newest blockbuster that's hitting the scene. We are going to be talking about James Gunn's Superman. Should be a lot of fun, so make sure you tune in for that.
A James Gunn episode
bum,
that I am
bum.
not fucking hosting because Tanner's a greedy bastard.
You haven't seen the fucking movie yet, and I've seen it 5 times. Shut the fuck up. See you next time. Bye.
Fuck you, Tanner.
I slid my ticket across the table and I said, "Sorry guys, I gotta see about a girl."